All right, morning everyone. Welcome to another episode of Market Trading. I'm your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you live this Monday morning. Let's go to the charts. Once again, I want to point your attention to myself teaching a workshop over in Brazil. It's about 10 days away, a little over 10 days away, so about 2 weeks away. I will be teaching a workshop. Let me get a little bit bigger. I'll be teaching a workshop over in Brazil. That is the day following the Crypto Minds conference down in Sao Paulo, Brazil. So you can check that out. I will also be heading to Dubai soon after that in October to speak at a couple of conferences. I'll start promoting those soon as well. Let's go to charts. We have a weekly MRI buy. That is a great sign. That's the good news. Now, what about the bad news? Well, the bad news is that we are double bottoming and we are consolidating. Both of these are bad news, but the current candle seems very, very promising. This blue line, let me just get rid of that. It's in the way. Also, if I drop alphanumerics, because it's a little bit, because it's on the same candle as my green arrow, we're getting a weekly MRI buy. When was the last time we had a weekly MRI buy? Well, the last time we had a weekly MRI buy on Bitcoin was back on October 10th, 2022. Wow, that was a long time ago. This was the last time we had a weekly MRI buy, and you can see we rallied for several weeks and everything was looking great, except the FTX news took us down, and eventually we got out of the FTX news. What about the time before that? Well, the time before that, we actually had a very similar looking MRI buy candle right here to the MRI buy candle of today. Why are they similar? Let me drop this, okay? Now, obviously, this had 7 days of trading. This only has a few hours of trading. The reason why they're similar is not the MRI buy candle. Oh, let me get the mic closer to me a little bit, actually. Hope everyone can hear me okay. The reason why these candles are similar is not because of the current candle. It's because of the 1, 2, 3, and 4 candles that preceded the MRI buy candle. Look at the 1, 2, 3, 4 candles that are preceding it. The candles preceding the MRI buy candle, you see how they're slowly going down and starting to consolidate. And then look what happens on the MRI buy candle itself. It goes down and creates clearly a new low, but it's only a new closing low. It's not a new swing low. So when I say I want to see a Bitcoin low, what does Tone Vays mean when he says, I want to see a new low? I mean, I want to see 2 new lows. I want to see a new low close and a new swing low. That did not happen here. We only got the new closing low. We never got the new swing low. Now, the following candle, that's when we got the swing low. And that's when we got the closing low. And it's very, very likely, if it wasn't for the FTX collapse, this would have been the low in the market, the low that followed the week of this MRI buy. Now, this MRI buy also took place within consolidation. So this MRI buy has lots of similarities as well. While the MRI buy from June 22nd has a similarity in that it didn't really make a proper low because the lower low was made a month earlier. Right now, we did make a proper low, but it's so close to the other lows. In fact, we actually didn't make a new proper low. We swinged lower on middle of June for the intra-week low, not intraday low, sorry, intra-week low. But we are working on a new low close, but it's still not a clean lower low. We may need 1 more week, or if this week collapses all the way down to the moving average, we will achieve a lower closing low and a lower swing low. All right. Now, this here, back in October, the October weekly MRI buy gave us a double bottom, which is bearish. It did not give us a lower swing low, which is not ideal for a buy the dip. It did not give us a lower closing low, which is also not ideal for a buy the dip. Okay. Now, it's still possible that this MRI buy could have led us straight to the upside if it wasn't for FTX. But hindsight is always 2020, and FTX did happen, and we did create a critical lower close and a critical swing low. Now, there wasn't any MRIs involved in this mess, but that's okay. Now, there's no such thing as a perfect indicator. So what is the point of this entire discussion? The point is that when I go to the daily chart, I remain looking at this box. This box is coming in for our next daily MRI buy, which will take place on next week's candle that would be following the current week's MRI buy reversal. So while I am not throwing all my eggs in a basket on current week being the ultimate reversal, however, if the price of Bitcoin crashes down to the $42,000 area, or ideally giving me a swing weekly low below the $24,000 area and giving me a new closing low on a weekly scale above the $24,000 area. In fact, I would love to see it above the moving average. So in a perfect world, we would get an intra-week fall down to 23,750, but the weekly close above 24,500. That would be the perfect opportunity to buy the dip. If things work out even more perfect, we will have a daily MRI buy inside this box sometime next week, okay? Sometime early next week, because we're just beginning the bearish MRI count. So we need to continue for about 8 to 10 candles to get our MRI buy on a daily scale. Now let's go to our allocation. Well, allocation is 100% cash. We took on the 100% cash position in preparation for a lower low. And in a couple of days, we're going to get an MRI buy on the 4-day chart as well. Do I care about the MRI buy on a 4-day chart? I actually don't. I still keep the MRI buy here because it is my #1 used indicator. But in general, I just look at the moving averages and the chart patterns to navigate this chart. And hopefully everything reverses sometime around next candle, and we'll be, I really do want that daily MRI buy. All right, hope all of that makes sense, and that is my Bitcoin outlook. Those interested in the MRI as an indicator, you go to products and services, MRI indicator on tonevays.com. We also have some educational videos here. If you go to products and services, on demand videos. Don't forget, the financial summit is coming to the UAE November 5 to 10. It's an incredible event for all things finance, trading, and investing. We're spending 5 nights in an incredible desert resort. You can check out what the rooms look like. You can click on upgrade rooms and you will see what the rooms look like. This is your basic room that comes with your, it's included in the price of the event. You get your own private pool. This is a bigger pool for those that want to upgrade. Unconfiscatable is coming back to Las Vegas. Was just putting Max Kaiser and Stacey Herbert on a spot yesterday through Twitter. We would love to have them back at our event as well. Check out our amazing speakers And the poker tournament will take place the night before the event. Follow us on YouTube, guys. We are doing spaces twice a week. Our next spaces will be on Wednesday, which following the CPI number release, we're gonna have some good guests. So check us out on spaces. We had a space yesterday with John Nigerian that should be posted as well. Please follow us on YouTube. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. That is one of our goals. One of our goals is 1,000 subscribers. Please follow us on YouTube and support us by watching these videos, trying to get to 4,000 hours watched so we can try and drop advertising that YouTube forces onto our channel. There's also a giveaway. Check out the giveaway video and comment to the giveaway video. Oh, there's my presentation at BitBlock. Boom. I need to cut that out. I'm waiting for Gary Leland to cut them out. Here it is. This is my presentation. Okay, we covered the daily chart. We're dropping right now. We must have just fallen because when I was making this video, we were sitting a lot higher. And let's go to the hourly chart. Yep, we just dropped on the current hour. Very clean, significant lower low and close on the hourly chart. You can see it versus recent lower lows. And recent lower closes. So clearly a lower low across both counts if the lower close holds. Having a lower low is enough to reverse the market. That is the capitulation by the dip. We are in the middle of a weekly MRI buy, but we're only on a 6 based on the hourly MRI. So maybe a few more hours of downside and then a potential reversal back to the area of the breakdown. But I still think that the ultimate path is into the box. Oh, speaking of into the box, I will be a guest on Into the Cryptoverse with Ben Cohen coming up in a couple of hours. Let me do this. Coming up in a couple of hours, I will be a guest on Into the Cryptoverse. All right, next chart. This is very key to see the GBTC discount still trending towards zero as the price of Bitcoin is dropping. This is very, very important. This means that the moment Bitcoin eventually enters a bull market, you will see the GBTC discount completely evaporate. And those that are still holding on to their GBTC shares are at a slight advantage, considering all the disadvantage they have to suffer in the bear market. Someone is saying Benjamin Cohen got wrecked in previous bear markets. I'll have to take your word for it. I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. I wish I had the time to watch other YouTubers in crypto, but I do not. I try to pay attention to what I'm doing. I don't really pay attention to what other people are doing unless they are on my YouTube channel at that moment. I did watch the US Open final yesterday. Novak Djokovic, I saw every single tennis rally. Volley. I saw every single volley of that tennis game. Novak Djokovic is the GOAT in tennis and potentially the GOAT athlete right now. Absolutely. And he's also my favorite athlete. He was never my favorite athlete in the middle of his career, but he is now my favorite athlete. You know who my second favorite athlete is? Sean Strickland. And I'm not even an MMA guy. They are my favorite athletes because these people understand and care about freedom. Did you guys watch that press conference by Sean Strickland? Sean Strickland talking shit about Australia. Sean Strickland. I couldn't believe he won that fight. Why did my oh yeah, my camera just went out. Where is this? Like, he talked shit about Australian lockdowns. My second favorite athlete besides Djokovic, who is never taking that vax. Natural gas. I'm bullish on natural gas, even though it has a bit of a triple bottom now, which is very, very dangerous. But I'm gonna stick to a little bit more fundamental here until I see a close below this blue line at $2.50. I will remain optimistic for Bitcoin. Oil is going up, but oil is on a daily MRI top. It's coming off a daily MRI top. You will see it right there. We are consolidating or down for 1 to 4 candles. There is a beautiful green star candle. If today closes as a new swing high, I will be bullish on oil going forward. Imagine being so political, you pick your favorite athletes based on COVID politics. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Big A, give me a reason not to. Who are your favorite athletes and why are they your favorite athletes? Right? I mean, you need a reason, right? You need a reason to have a favorite athlete. There's 100 athletes that are winners, right? There's 100 athletes that are losers, that never win anything, right? But someone has a favorite athlete somewhere, right? Like, your favorite athlete doesn't have to be an all-time winner, right? Like, my favorite athlete in basketball of all time is still Penny Hardaway. He never won anything, right? So everyone has a reason for their favorite athletes. My reason for my favorite athletes is their politics and their COVID policies. I don't see a more important reason than that to have a favorite athlete right now. My least favorite athlete, that's known to everyone, is LeBron James. I think LeBron James, and he's always been my least favorite athlete, long before he vaccinated his son. I never liked LeBron James because LeBron James' politics were always vogue. He was always on the media side of an issue. I remember when LeBron got schooled by Kobe over the Trayvon Martin situation. LeBron poses for picture to support Trayvon Martin. I can't spell Trayvon, right? Yeah. And then he tried to get Kobe in that picture, and Kobe's like, I'm not going to support Trayvon Martin. Why am I going to support him? I'm going to support him only because he's black? That's not the reason to support him. Like Kobe schooled LeBron. That's when Kobe became one of my favorite athletes. When Kobe was a player, I wasn't a big fan of Kobe. That rape case didn't help Kobe very much either. I wasn't a fan of Kobe at all. I became a fan of Kobe after he retired, actually. Not during his playing days. But I never liked LeBron. LeBron's like the most vogue athlete in history. For similar reasons, I actually never liked Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Muhammad Ali, on the other hand, him I respect a lot. Back to the charts. Oil. Let's talk about oil. See, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar always thought of him as like this political mover, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was always just a follower. He was never like, his personality was never really a leader. He was always a follower. Guys like Muhammad Ali, guys like Djokovic, they're leaders. And they think for themselves. So the US government bought an additional 800 million barrels of oil. I don't understand. Sorry, 800,000 barrels of oil, not million barrels of oil. That would be insane. 800 million barrels of oil. And the price is now the highest it's been in almost a year. It's almost a year. I can't wait for an annual high. So we either have to wait a month till November at current prices, or we need to rally above these highs. So once again, you have a swing weekly high and a weekly close. Either way, we're talking $93. I think oil will be making it to $93 this year. Gold is not interesting, so we just skip it. Now, what about the stock market? The stock market is not doing anything, so no comment. I am leaning a little bit bullish, but man, if we can break the annual high this year, if we can break the yearly high or a 12-month high or an 18-month high, that's where we are right now. The last, this recent high is the same high we had back in March of last year. So if we make it back up there, that would basically be an 18-month high. That's incredibly bullish. And that would only be like 4% off the all-time high. So I am slightly leaning bullish right now, and very few people are. Oh, one second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Where's my scale? All right, I'm back. I'm back. Daily chart is rebounding. Looks like the 1 to 4 candle correction is ending. I do like this. Someone is asking if there's a new Nova variant, will it affect stock market negatively? No, it will not. No one gives a shit about Corona anymore. No one is going to mask up. No one is going to lock down. It's never going to happen again. It will not happen again. People will not comply. This will not happen. It's really, there's no way. Like, I thought people weren't stupid enough to lock down last time, but clearly they were. They're not going to make the same mistake again. Humans do learn from their mistakes. Just like any other animal. It's never going to happen. there will be violent riots on the streets, and it's been a while since politicians have been dragged out of their offices and things done to them that I can't say on YouTube. But that is exactly what is going to happen if there's another lockdown. And this applies to 80% of the countries in the world. No, humans do learn from their mistakes in the intermediate term. They repeat the mistakes of their grandparents, but they do learn from their mistakes from like 2 years ago. No, it's not happening again. It is not happening again. It's not going to happen again. Like, think of it in these terms, right? There have to be at least 5% of the population that thought this was completely insane, and they might have been willing to do some rash things, but they stayed quiet. That's not going to happen again. Imagine if 5% of Americans actually go back to the Capitol, but this time they're not going to be peaceful. 5% of America, right? That's 15 million people. That's not going to go well for the government. Even the US military is not big enough to stop that. It's really not. 15, 20 million people come to Washington, the US military will be able to do nothing about it. The entire US military will be able to do absolutely nothing. If 20 million people descend on Washington, the military will be able to do nothing. Especially if they're armed, the US military will be useless. They're not going to nuke Washington, right? If 20 million people descend on Washington. So the US military will be useless. Tone, do you understand how cowardly people are? Yes, but not 2 times in a row. Quick thing on stocks. We mentioned NVIDIA. Be careful with NVIDIA. NVIDIA is on an MRI top. On a monthly scale. So it can certainly use a pullback down to the 330 area. People are asking for my thoughts on Enrique. Enrique Torres sentenced to 22 years for his participation in January 6th protests. This is completely insane because he wasn't even there. He wasn't there. He didn't go to the Capitol. He didn't go to Washington. He remained in Miami. He got 22 years and he wasn't even there. Him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Met him many times. Pretty nice guy, actually. He was actually an informant for the feds, ironically. Got 22 years for an insurrection he wasn't even a part of. Physically. He didn't even show up. Should tell you something about the US government. Giving people 22 years for his role in the event. See how it says his role? Because he wasn't even there. Wasn't even there. Oh, we tweeted this out. Hey guys, you really should follow the Financial Summit Twitter handle. We're on a goal for 5,000 followers. So we're gonna try to tweet out something like this every day, just something to pay attention to. You can clearly see my my skills here. This was one of my tweets. I'm not the one that's mostly tweeting from this handle. We do have a research team. But we're gonna try to send out tweets like this, where just pointing out key parts of the day. MRI indicator will be heavily used. You can see how the oil daily chart is on an MRI buy. You can see how the S&P chart is the market. This looks exactly like today's candle too. Let's go to the S&P daily chart. What's going on here? This is September 11th, September 8th. Right. Well, this is the futures market, and the other one's probably the cash market. Yeah, so here we are on a nice uptick on the index. So the 1 to 4 correction is probably over. So we're going to try and tweet these out. You can see how gold is getting ready to break out on a long-term basis. Yeah, RICO charges have been grossly abused. They were useful to take down the mob, but now RICO charges should go away. As you guys know, I am overall more bullish on Tesla than bearish. Let's go take a look at Tesla. Nice bump today. Oh, I like this chart. Look at that. It's a green star candle. What happened after the MRI sell? It's a 1 to 4 candle correction. And now we're about to break the MRI resistance line and the MRI breakout line. These are great signs. Tesla closing above $268 is very, very bullish for Tesla to new all-time highs. Now, Tesla is on a yearly sell. Keep that in mind. Oh, Tesla's coming off a yearly sell. It probably had its correction. Why is Tesla bullish? I have no idea. We're TA analysts here. It just is. Here's Palantir. Palantir, it was looking very bearish. You see my arrow right there. So far, it's consolidating. I'm going to go neutral on Palantir. NEO looks bearish, but it came back to a critical. What is that line? Ah, that line is no longer useful. I probably drew that long before. Oh, look at that. Look at that weekly MRI top on NEO. What a beautiful MRI call. Nice MRI monthly buy right there. So there was a monthly MRI buy that was perfect. And then a weekly MRI sell that is perfect. Look at that. Almost a weekly MRI buy. If it wasn't for the gap, we would probably have it. Let's look at Bitfarms. Also JMIA. JMIA weekly MRI top. Look at that perfect call. JMIA looks really bad right now. Double bottom coming up on an MRI support line. Not looking good. Not looking good. Oh, Bitfarms are $1.15. Look at that. I would wait for a weekly MRI buy. It should come in a couple of weeks. What about the daily chart? Daily chart. Yeah, see, weekly is coming up on an MRI buy in a couple of weeks, and the daily MRI buy is going to come up late this week, probably. Maybe Friday or Monday. I think 108 is a reasonable range. I think you can get there. Robinhood, I really don't like this company. What a beautiful MRI sell right there on a doji, on a hammer candle. Sorry, shooting star candle. My bad. RKLB. That looks similar. I'm a little neutral. Beautiful MRI sell on a daily right there. Back in July 20th. All right, guys, I don't have anything to add. Might jump into a Twitter space. Oh, into the cryptoverse. I will be a guest. Benjamin Cohen. I will be a guest on his YouTube channel coming up in a couple of days. Couple of hours. What am I saying? In a couple of hours. I'm assuming it will be live. At 1 p.m. Eastern time. 1 p.m. Eastern time, I will be on Benjamin Cohen's channel. Talk to you about living in Panama. Well, you need to know Spanish, which I don't. That helps a lot. Other than that, Panama's great. Wish it had a beach nearby. That would have been nice. And there's great people here in Panama. I have so many friends here. It's awesome. I'll be speaking at a few conferences in Dubai. My next one is I'll be teaching a workshop in Brazil. And then I'll be speaking at a conference in Brazil. This is later this month. And then in October, I will be speaking at Blockchain Life. I'll be speaking at Blockchain Life, October 24 to 25. So come out, check me out over there. And I'll also be speaking at AIM Summit, Dubai. My picture should be there somewhere. Maybe. There I am. Let's take a look at the Fed and the rate. It looks like the rate will not be raised. It'll stay as is. I think you said wolf, but you mean wolf. Oh, break of the lows. Very similar to Bitfarms. Well, this wellness company isn't doing well. I would not buy this. It looks like they IPO'd and dropped over 50%, but there's no end in sight. There is no end in sight. They are down 82% since IPO. They're on an MRI buy weekly, which is good. There's a chance it will rally to here. It just goes lower and lower and lower. Can you make 100% on this? Yeah, probably. I mean, I would consider it. Let me see where the daily is. We're on a weekly MRI buy. You're coming off a daily extension A and B. You're coming up on a, yeah. I mean, it can close the gap. I don't know much about this company, but I mean, I would try. I wouldn't mind catching this knife. Now, remember, long-term prospects of this is zero, but short-term, yeah, it's definitely tradable on the MRI. Your stop loss is the new swing lows, and your target. I mean, it's a good risk-reward ratio right here. Your target is back to the breakdown level. So let's see. If someone remembers to remind me of this in the future, or maybe I'll see it eventually. I'll put this on here. We'll see what happens. There are over 33,000 gangs in America with over 1 million members. What? That seems unreasonably high. Tony, I don't believe that number. Your quarterly Bitcoin chart looks like a mess, and it's neither bullish nor bearish. Monthly S&P hanging man? No, it's not. I don't consider that a hanging man, and if it was a hanging man, I wouldn't consider it to be bearish anyway. So it looks like a hanging man, but it's not a hanging man because it's happening consolidation. It really needs to happen clearly at the top. Why is Bitcoin tanking? Probably because people are scared over the FTX selling their Solana shitcoin. Speaking of the Solana shitcoin, oh, let me see how the Litecoin shitcoin's doing. We are anticipating an 80% drop in Litecoin post halving, and we're on our way. So far, Litecoin has fallen 24% since the halving, and our target is 80. Monero hasn't broken down yet. We'll wait for that. And Ethereum is not looking very good. Clearly, I was wrong. I was unreasonably bullish about Ethereum. It can still rally a bit, but eventually it's going down. The Cardano scam coin with its billion gazillion tokens will eventually go to zero as well. Where is the Solana scam coin? There it is. I don't understand why it's this expensive for a Solana scam token. It really should be lower than this. All right, guys. Thank you all for watching. Tron is actually looking bullish, but there's an MRI weekly top right now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Oh, the dollar is taking a little break. Interesting. Bye, guys. Catch me on Benjamin Cohen's channel later today. Oh.